Drury from Glastonbury is truly inspiring. She's running the upcoming Boston Marathon, which is a feat in itself, but she's not doing it for fitness, she's doing it for her daughter.
Yeah, Drury's daughter is blind, so she's running as part of the Perkins School for Blind's charity team to benefit the school that her daughter attends. And she's joining us this morning to talk more about her mission. First, tell us about your daughter, Paige, and when and how you found out that she was blind.
We found out when she was about 3 months old, and it was just she wasn't tracking and following like they normally did. So I thought I was being overcautious, and we brought her to the pediatrician, and then we were living in Maine at the time. They sent us up to Mass Eye and Ear, and it turned out that she was blind. It's from a rare genetic disorder, and so that kind of started the whole process of figuring out what to do next.
And so she's 8 now.
She's 8 now, yep.
So what has it been like the last 8 years as you're, figuring how life is different?
Right. It's surprisingly not as hard as I thought it would be. You just kind of take one step at a time, and you deal with problems as they come, and you try to figure out how to deal with them the best you can. Mm-hmm. So she's kind of made it easy. She's got a good personality that sort of helps the whole situation.
I'm sure.
Now, she does go to school here.
She does go to school here. She goes in Glastonbury to Hebron Avenue School.
Okay. Now, the Perkins School for the Blind, what does she do there?
She goes there for weekend programs and summer camp, and like they do weekend programs where they get to go more behind the scenes. They get more access to things at like the aquarium or the airport, where she went and spent one weekend, and they got on a plane, like a real plane, and got to go in the cockpit and got to pretend like they were flying, and so they just get experiences that we wouldn't be able to arrange on our own.
So the Perkins School is in Watertown, Massachusetts.
Yes.
How often does she go there? You say she goes there for weekends and camp?
She goes usually for weekends, 3 or 4 weekends a year, and then she goes for 1 week-long camp every summer.
And have you noticed changes in her since she's been attending the school?
I have. The biggest change that we've noticed with her is the social piece, because here where she's in school with all sighted children, they're great, but she always feels a little bit different than they do. And when she goes there, she's just one of the kids. She doesn't have to explain what her Braille books are, and she doesn't have to explain what her cane is. They're not running off and leaving her, not because they're being mean, but just they don't realize she can't move as fast. And at Perkins, that doesn't happen. So it just gives her a weekend, a break where she can just sort of relax and not try quite so hard.
Right. So what was behind you deciding to run the marathon for her?
I had always kind of thought I wanted to run a marathon, and I thought if I wanted to run one, I wanted to run Boston. And then I was talking to the outreach director at Perkins, and she had done it last year, and so I'd said that I kind of wanted to do it, and so she said, well, you can join the Perkins team and do it. So that kind of was it kind of all just came together.
Have you always been a runner?
On and off. I'm more of a recreational runner. I'm not a real marathoner.
Now, have you done a half marathon?
I've done a half marathon, and then during the training process, I've done now several half marathons in the training. But
yeah,
my goal is just to finish. But it's been fun.
Yeah.
And then,
what's the training process been like for you?
Well, I started a 16-week training program, and so you run 5 days a week, 1 long run a week. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. There were a few long runs where I would have liked a car to drive by and pick me up and take me home and make it be over. But I would just run and think why I was doing it, and all the people that have helped me and supported me along the way. So it just kind of kept you going. And
I'm sure you've gotten a lot of support from friends and people from the school, but how can people continue to help support you?
They can donate to Perkins. For my run, we have a website. It's crowdrise.com. I don't know if it's not up there. It's
going to be on our website.
Yeah, it's www.crowdrise.com and then Heather Drury, and you can go on and donate and help me do with my fundraising. And then if it's after the marathon, you can just go to perkins.org, I think, and donate to them at any time.
Is she going to be there to support you at the finish line?
She is.
Awesome.
She is.
She's really excited.
She is. Both kids asked at one point if they could jump in and run. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, maybe not. Heather, thanks so much for being with us and sharing your story about your daughter.
Thanks for having me.
Very inspiring.